Stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own. The butt's dirty facts, well, I took my hands, I was blind to the facts. Stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own. The butt's dirty facts, well, I took stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own. The butt's dirty facts, well, I took stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own. The butt's dirty facts, well, I took stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own. The butt's dirty facts, well, I took. Salute. Welcome to PR 61 Minute Podcast. Today it is a special day. It is a very, very special day. Today is the great Tupac Amaru Shakur's birthday. Today is not a sad day. It is not a sad day. Today is a very, very vibrant, colorful, beautiful day. June 16th. Salute, man. Salute to Pac, man. Just saluting happy birthday and thank you for everything, all the work he has put out, all the great messages he done laid out that we take into from day to day, you know what I'm saying, for motivational, to sparking the mind that will change everything. Salute. Thank you. Thank you very much for everything you did. Wherever you are, Pac, salute. Happy birthday. Today's topic is keep your friends close, keep your enemies even closer, and the little bits and pieces of things that Tupac tried to tell us. A lot of different things, there's a lot, today was a day that I really wanted to go hard and really give it to y'all, straight. But the thing is that I have, I don't want to say a lot of people, but I have people that are, stealing the content, taking it to their page and not, it's cool. It's cool. The beautiful thing about it is a timeline. Everything is, like I could say, recorded and, timestamp and the date and everything. So, if you take anything from me and put it in your page, I honor that in a way. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate and be like, oh, look, I got it from homie right here. His channel is popping. I mean, you could do, the least you could do is do that. I try not to at all try to mimic or mirror anything that anybody's doing because it's not me. It's not me. It is not what I'm representing. It's not the movement that I'm trying to push. It's I just want people to, if you get some information from this, be like, hey, Liz, I got it from 61 Minute Podcast, man. Dude is on fire. Straight up. So, with that being said, let's begin with this topic here at hand. Keep your friends close and your enemies even close. I think if you looked at the last show or the show before that, where I touched on the Biggie situation with Little C's and everything, that's going to be the part 2 of this. I wanted to mix them together and put them together. Today is Tupac's birthday. So we have to focus in and zone in on Amaru. So today we are going to talk about, as far as Pac indicating, especially on the song that y'all just heard, indicating the fact that, been stabbed in the back, bunch of fake homies, bunch of dirty rats. So, when he says homies, I kind of felt like it was a direct shot to either the Outlaws or somebody really close to him. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But again, the topic still remains: keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. You got to understand that type of military mind frame that he had at 23, 24 years old, which is incredible. I really, really don't, man, I really, really do appreciate his frame of thought at a 25-year-old to be speaking about Machiavelli, to be speaking about certain things. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how is it that this 25-year-old that could be doing hella other stuff instead of, he's focusing on something that's so organic and it's so, when you hear it, it's just I could run through walls. I really appreciate
his views on things. Do I agree on all of them? No. Like I said, I'm an older individual admiring the mindset of a 25-year-old. So you got to understand, like, I was once 25. So when he Pac says certain things, it was like he was so ahead of whatever, whatever mind frame there was, So I really appreciate that. Like, I really, really appreciate him, his mother, and his upbringing, Like, the real definition of a concrete rose, man. Like, Pac was that. So let's begin to the topic. I don't want to be long-winded and stuff. So I'm looking at Napoleon a little bit different. Now, Pac just said bunch of dirty rats, his homies, like, And I know he's probably like Jimmy everybody's like, Jimmy Henchman, he's talking about Haitian Jack, he's talking about Big, whatever. I don't really think he's talking about them. But if that's what floats your boat, it's all right with me. But here at 61 Minute Podcast, we like to dive deep into his frame of thoughts, where he was coming from, kind of like just study him for a second, and just breaks things down. Now, his name is Muta, which is Napoleon. Now, Napoleon is an individual that was a part of the Outlaws, but in the future, right? I'm speaking like now, where he's doing these interviews, and he's mentioning the fact that in one of the interview he mentioned, which I'm gonna play it, because I don't like to take whatever somebody says and re-say it again. Like, I like to let the person speak for himself. So the way I'm interpreting what he's saying right now, before I play the video, is basically he was saying that how Stretch, which is the big... I always confuse Tretch with Stretch, even though they both knew each other. The Pac and both Tretch and Stretch. And Tretch is... I'm going to leave that for a little bit later. Like I said, I'm not trying to give everything away, you know what I'm saying? Because I know everybody got their pen and pad and just stealing. At the end of the day, well, like I said, I salute you. I salute y'all, you know what I mean? So, you have Big Stretch. You might see them in certain videos and certain music songs with big, tall individual from Queens, Hollis. Shout out to Queens, shout out to Hollis. Shout out to everybody out there. Well, Big Stretch was somebody that was bringing messages, kind of like the middleman and stuff like that. Was bringing messages to Pac, as far as to this famous song that got known now, as far as Against All Odds, when Pac said, "You remember what you told me, right? Remember when I get my money right, and then you could go to war." That was a message that was being given to Stretch from Jimmy Henchman. And, and Pac felt a little bit funny, as far as, why would you be talking to somebody that done got me shot up? Like, what? Like, what's, you know what I'm saying? What's your agenda? Because, it's like, Fab got this song, right? I love this song. I forgot the name of the song. But Fab was like, how can somebody be comfortable talking to you about me? If you my man, how can somebody be comfortable talking to you about me? So it's like, if you my man, right? And y'all just talking, you won't want nobody be talking about your boy, right? So you be like, yo, my nigga, look. Excuse me, sorry. My man, look. If you gonna talk about homie, homie gotta be here. So you know what I mean, could hear that. I'm not gonna be like, because once it get back to my homie that he said that in front of me and I ain't confronted him, that's a problem. That's an internal problem between two homies. So it's like, so Stretch was kicked out the situation. That's why, Pac was like in that interview, I murdered them. I murdered Thug Life. Like, not physically, but they not, you know what I mean? It's not a group, you know what I'm saying? It's not a musical group. Because of the simple fact that, as far as Stretch, in that situation, when he was bringing back information that Jimmy Henchman said, you should have had that energy, a different energy if he would have came across you. But Pac took it as, then homie right here could be telling somebody else where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your allegiance? What's your ties? What's your loyalty behind? You know what I'm saying? So in that same interview, Munta, aka I forgot his name, Napoleon said that he saw Jimmy Henchman in Cali. And I am not, the person to be, looking for any type of any situation. I'm walking the other way. But if it's bloodshed, right? If it's bloodshed and it's for it's your big dog. It's like, if the big dog, like DMX said, if the big dogs die, who gonna feed the pups? You feel me? So there's certain things that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just certain things that have to be continued because, we live in an upside down world, man. And sometimes we can't be looking for justice from whatever system is in play that's actually now working towards our favor. So it's like, okay, so you met up with Jimmy Henchman. Now you guys are Muslims. And you keep meeting them up with this individual. You having conversation with this individual. It's hard. It's hard for me, right? It's hard for me to say that I'm not gonna have a certain hatred to this individual just because I joined a religion. This dude took somebody that I love. Like, I looked at this individual as somebody that came from the heavens up above and landed here to help me. If you take that individual away, it's a problem. And I'm willing to answer that to the Most High when I get up there. But there's a problem down here. When we bump heads in not to say that me personally, I will be looking for that in that direction, but it's just emotions. Emotions sometimes will get the best of an individual, even though it's righteous. It's righteous. You know what I'm saying? It is righteous. If somebody killed somebody that you love, it's only a human thing to feel some type of certain way for that other individual. That's just human nature. So when Munta is talking about he met Jimmy Henchman and blase, and then not only that, and I know it's an industry, but it's a big industry, right? And then he says that he met Haitian Jack too. Man, that really was the one that, that wasn't the one that did it for me, y'all. That's not the one that did it for me. The one that did it for me was in November 10th, 1996, when Gaddafi was killed, right? Now, when I was young, I remember that day like it was yesterday. And I remember that Monday, Pac got shot when on a Friday? On a Friday? Was it on a Friday? No, he died on a Friday, but he got shot like on a Saturday or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I remember that Monday when I was a freshman in high school. I remember talking about it and everything. And then a couple of months later, people have found out that it was this Munta, Napoleon's cousin, who shot Gaddafi. And I'm like, no. That doesn't, at that time, to me, that didn't make no sense. That didn't make no sense. But then it makes sense to me. It didn't make sense there, right? Because you didn't have Instagram, you didn't have social media to hear these other interviews. But now, 20, 25, 22 years later, right? June 16, I'm listening to these interviews, and the police talking about that he met up with Jimmy, he met up with Haitian Jack. These are enemies. Not only listen, it's not only Tupac's enemies, but these are enemies towards the people. Towards the people. Selling drugs. Being a menace to society. It was, it's bigger than Pac. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing about it is that Jimmy Henchman got caught up with some, drug situation, smuggling drugs and concert equipment. And you met him when he was a Muslim, and he was still doing that. Come on, man. I don't know. It's just funny. It's just a lot of things now then didn't make no sense because I wasn't in the in crowd. I was damn near, 16 years old? Like, I didn't understand. And I just ain't understand that his cousin killed Tupac's cousin. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense. Even though, remember, the two stories are so similar. They stop at the light, they talk to girls. Biggie stopped at the light, talk to girls. It's the same scenario. It's the same scenario. Now, what was the cherry on top for me? The cherry on top for me, that was when Yasmin, that's Gaddafi. I really apologize if I'm pronouncing her name or your name if you're listening wrong. I really apologize. But Yasmin called out not only Napoleon but the outlaws. Man, that really gave me the chills. And he was calling them out as far as some money situation with Gaddafi. I'm like, Jesus, no. On Tupac's birthday, you come across all this information. It's all starting to make sense. This is a blessing. It's a blessing. That's why I say it's not a bad day. Look, I understand he moved to Saudi Arabia to get away from, I get it. That's that self-guilt. That's that, and he looks like he's running away from something. He has so much pain and stuff. I get it. But, it's alarming the facts that you're alarmed. You, in one sense, you say, Stretch was bad by hooking up or by talking to this, but you have talked to these individuals numerous of times. I don't care if you're a Buddhist. They took away your Buddhist priest that you love and he nurtured for you, and then you gon' no. Listen, that turn of the cheek thing is out the window when it comes to somebody that I love like that. And you know what I'm saying? This is it has to be something bigger behind the whole situation. It's just like, and I'm it's gonna be real brief because, like I said, it's all about Pac today. But it's really, when you start thinking of how Big got shot in the car, and the bullets are coming from supposedly the gunfire came from the right side, but Big got shot in his left side, and you know what? I saved that for tomorrow because today's topic is Pac, man, and the remembrance and all the clues he done dropped. Like I said, a matter of fact, I'm not even calling him Pac no more. I'm calling him Machiavelli, because of the simple fact if you study Machiavelli and his mind frame, his military, tactics that are being studied by the military today and politicians today. Man, it's just crazy that a 25-year-old could put people on into something that evolves into a whole new thing, man. And Pac was telling us, man. Pac was telling us that's why he didn't trust nobody. Everybody, there was so many agents around him. It's just a lot of funny things. And like I said, by Tupac's aunt, like I said again, Tupac's aunt called out Napoleon. Not me. I'm just I'm just eating my popcorn, looking at the situation from a bird's eye view. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I always say, you can't hide the sun with your thumb. It's only a matter of time that the wickedness, the misleading, the tampering, and all these things is being done by these big YouTubers. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back because it ain't real. It ain't organic. It ain't real. It ain't organic. This is organic. I'm giving you this whole time frame, breaking it down, you know what I mean? Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. But it is, I'm giving you that Tupac was and knew he was a Native American. That's why they had the Apache medicine stick in the in that video May Niggas, and how it resembled the Indian dance, how they was just spinning around in circles. It's so many clues. It's so many clues. It's so many clues that Pac was dealing with the media, calling the media out back then, and now you get it when Trump is calling them out. I'm done. Like, you know what I'm saying? This PR 61 minute podcast this is why I named this 61 minute, because it's better than 60. It's better than 60 minute, the 60 minute show that you grew up seeing. This is where it's at for the people with the right mind frame, with that military mind frame. You know, not military as trying to roll people over. It's just it's strict over here. It's strict. It's a straight line. It's black and white. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight line. So, in conclusion, until I start this, I'm going to start the video now. In conclusion, we have somebody that was so close to Pac that he took in like a son, like a brother. And then he's politicking with Jimmy Henchman. Why he was moving drugs across the states, who knows, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, but that was right back then. When he was talking about Sorry Entertainment and all this, listen, man, I gotta be patient because I gotta be patient with this information because it's crazy. It's crazy. And I think now this generation is growing up where all of it, like this generation, my generation, could easily be converted, or not converted. It could easily be shown organic information, and they can make their mind up. It's not, I didn't come up with the little yachties, and no disrespect to them and stuff. I didn't come up with the tight jeans like that. You know what I'm saying? But my generation, I feel, is the generation that's going to change everything. You seeing it right now. You seeing it in front of your face. You know what I'm saying? You seeing it everywhere. But we got to turn no stone should be left unturned. Everything got to get turned. We can't let people that help other people take away our leaders and look at them as how can I say this? Like motivational speakers and all this other craziness. It's crazy and it's blasphemous. So with that being said, salute. Is more look, this is content that I'm trying to like break down into little pieces, because as I'm going into this journey, right, I'm getting more information, and more information. So it's like I really can't put everything together, because then you really won't understand. I can only break it down. It's gonna be a time where you're gonna get the meat and potatoes, but right now you gotta get this broccoli. Right now you gotta get these carrots. Right now you gotta get these mashed potatoes. You gotta get these. You gotta get the vegetables first. You feel me? So enjoy the show. Thank you for everything. Leave a comment, subscribe, because look, and I'm gonna say it again, I'd rather be with 10 lions than a million sheeps. This channel is not for everyone. I don't want everybody to hit the sub. I don't want everybody to message or leave a comment because it's not organic. You know what I'm saying? So if I got 500 or 200 or to the billions of people in the world, that's fine with me because I understand that, there's a bigger army that I don't see that's up there, protecting all of us. So if it's 10 lions versus a zillion sheeps, give me them. We go to war right now. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual, mentally, whatever. But like I said, this channel, I would love for more subs, but I can't, I just don't want everybody to sub because it's going to get fake. It's going to be fake. So if you sub, I know you real. You know what I'm saying? Most of the people that sub are selling information, getting in notepads or using a non-YouTube account to look at the videos. That way you don't give me the numbers. I get it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Rome wasn't built in a day, but this right here, man, salute.
I was there with Pac when he was laying on and the couch shot up when Stretch came to him. Stretch used to be with him, and Stretch came to him like, this is a message from Jimmy Henchman. I remember, you know what I mean? Like, this is a...
Okay, so Stretch, who was super close to Tupac.
Yes.
Mod Squad, is that
I believe that's it, yeah.
The group, okay. And he was... The Stretch also was cool with Biggie, because wasn't he...
I believe they was definitely friends.
Stretch was on that one song, was on Dolly My Baby.
Yeah, and also in Pain. Yeah, he was also in Pain. And he was on a few songs, like he was Pac's right-hand man. When we met him, when I used to go to from Jersey to New York, he always was with Stretch. You understand? So when Pac got shot in that elevator, he was staying at this actress house. You understand? And he was hiding out. He didn't feel like staying in the hospital. He pretty much was staying in the house, and he was, he was messed up from being shot. And I remember one time Stretch came there. And Stretch said, I spoke to Jimmy Henchman. And Jimmy Henchman said, Pac, you don't got enough money. You don't want to go to war with him. And he was like, Jimmy Henchman said, get your money right, then go to war. And, for me, I'm only like 14, 15 years old, but I'm looking at the situation like that's kind of odd right there. You supposed to be Pac homie, but you bringing him a message from his enemies. The way, and even from growing up in New Jersey, the way I am on my block, if you come with the message from the enemy, we automatically take you as an enemy. You understand? So I was like, what is Pac gonna do? And Pac, he just said, okay. He didn't really say much. He said, okay. You know what I mean?
Stretch ended up getting killed.
Yeah, Stretch got killed a few years later, for sure. I don't think it's from I guess it was another beef that he might have went through when Pac stopped dealing with him. He went back to New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after Stretch gave Tupac the message about Jimmy Henchman,
yes,
who's in prison right now.
Yeah, and I spoke to him, by the way.
You spoke to Jimmy,
messages.
You spoke to Jimmy Henchman.
Do messages. We was in touch with each other.
Okay, this is different. So,
yeah,
you spoke to Jimmy Henchman in prison.
I spoke to Jimmy Henchman in prison while I was living in Saudi Arabia. This was a couple years ago.
Okay.
When he first got locked up, a mutual friend of ours who used to be like an assistant to him. She's like the cousin of Noble's Noble wife. You understand? Sabrina. She sent me a message one day on Twitter, and she was like, "Jimmy Henchman want to holler at you because he's Muslim." And I ran into him, and I ran into him in Los Angeles one day years ago in a mosque, and we spoke for the first time in the mosque, breaking fast.
Okay, this is interesting. So, years ago, you're in a mosque.
Yes.
In walks Jimmy Henchman.
In walks myself. I see him sitting down with, I forget the name of his, he had a bunch of jackets with his name of his
Henchman Entertainment?
Yeah, Henchman Entertainment, or Caesar Entertainment, something like that.
Okay.
And I knew who he was. I seen pictures of him before, so I went up to him.
Okay.
You understand? This was about 8-9 years ago. 9 years ago in Los Angeles, King Fahad Maz.
Okay. Because, I mean, I've met Jimmy Henchman before. We've had conversations. I remember one time, because he was managing Game at the time, and we were doing an interview at his studio about this Game project that I'd worked on. Okay. And I remember as soon as I walked in, I looked and there was a big frame picture of Tupac with wearing a Henchman Entertainment t-shirt. And it was just sort of like, it was kind of creepy. It was creepy.
I really don't know what the conversation was with Pac before that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe Pac said some stuff to Stretch to get back to Jimmy Henchman. You know what I mean? And maybe Pac said, man, I feel Jimmy Henchman is down with this, so tell him this and this. I know he's part of this.
Okay.
So Stretch came in and said, look, Jimmy Henchman said you don't want to go to war with him because you don't got your money right. You know what I mean? You don't and wait till you get your money right, then you can go to war. So when Pac said that in that last song, Against All Odds, I remember what you told me, don't go to war unless I get my money right. That was a real scenario. You know what I mean? He was sending that message directly to him. You understand? For sure.
Right, and then of course, Pac also mentions Haitian Jack.
Haitian Jack, yes. That's another individual I ran into in Vegas.
Okay, so let's talk about both these situations.
Yeah.
So here you are, at one point in your life, ready to kill and die for Tupac.
Yeah.
You go and run into Jimmy Henchman, who's somehow tied in to allegedly the Tupac shooting.
Yes.
You know, and people have testified about this and so forth
After
the fact.
Of course, yes.
How does that conversation go?
Well, now that I ran into him at a mosque and I'm a Muslim, you know, my religion, see, for example, in the religion of Islam, I can defend myself. I can fight. I can stand up for myself. If someone comes to attack me, I can do whatever it takes to defend myself and protect myself. But if that attacker runs away from me and I see him the next day, I cannot go up to him and attack him because now I'm the oppressor. So we can't get revenge in Islam. You understand?
Okay.
We cannot go, especially if it's stuff from, I look at it like it's ignorant stuff that we went through back in the day in the street life. So I cannot go and say, this is an old beef. My brother got shot, for example, I'm giving an example, in the stomach. If I see the person that shot him before, I can't go and attack this individual, even though he shot my brother from the same mother and father. But my religion tell me I don't go back to this stuff, you know?
So your religion, if you had your parents' killers here in the same room right now, are they still alive, by the way?
Yeah, yes. I will forgive them.
You would forgive them.
And I protect the life. I protect the life of the person who murdered my mother and father.
You would protect them.
I protected his life. I saved his life. I had a friend of mine that I grew up in New Jersey who was sharing a cell with this individual, the guy who killed my mother and father. And when he called my brother and told my brother that I'm in a prison of a person that murdered your mother and father, he admitted to this. What do you want me to do? My brother, alhamdulillah, is Muslim now. But my brother then wasn't Muslim. He was a street dude. Known in New Jersey, he was heavy into the streets. And my brother told me that the guy, a little friend of mine, you know, that we grew up with, is in prison with the same dude that killed our mother and father. And I told him to handle his business. And I was explaining to my brother, you have to leave that alone. You know, the guy that killed my mother and father, he's also an imam in prison. He's a Muslim now, you know. So I happen to know someone who was a CO in that same prison. And I called. I'm not no snitch, but I'm saving the life of an individual because as a Muslim, saving the life of an individual is there. You understand? I don't want the blood on my hand, you know? And this is the individual that murdered my parents. And I said, when you tell this individual, it was a Muslim CO in the same prison in New Jersey, I said, tell this individual that I'm doing this for the sake of my religion, not because of him. You know what I mean? I really don't know him personally. I don't care about him personally because my religion tells me to do this. So I'm telling you this was going to happen to him. They moved him out of the cell. My brother was angry, of course. You know what I mean?
So you had a chance to have somewhat of a hand in getting revenge on the guy who killed your parents.
Yes.
And you never had a relationship with him because you were too young.
I never had a relationship. He was locked up from there. Yeah, he's locked up for life. You know?
Okay. It's heavy stuff, man. It's very, very heavy.
My life is like a movie, man, but it's real.
So now you're now face to face with Jimmy Henchman.
Yes.
What did that conversation go like?
So I went up to him and I was like, you Jimmy Henchman, right? He's like, yeah. I said, what's up? I'm Napoleon from the Outlaws. And I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm Muslim. And I was shocked. He was like, I was Muslim for years. And I said, let me just ask you, you know, I still wanted to get it off my chest. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? The word on the street is that, you know, you had something to do with Pac. He was denying it. You know, he denied it in the mosque. He's like, look, man, he said, I had nothing to do with that. And he said, when Pac was attacking me in music and saying everything, he said, the little bit of Islam, his exact words. He said, the little bit of taqwa in Islam mean like fear of God. He said, the little bit of taqwa that I do have prevented me from even feeding into that stuff. So I took it like, you know, maybe he telling me he had nothing to do with it. I leave it alone. Even while he was in prison, we was in touch with him. I emailed the lady, and she would send it to him. And I mentioned it again. Like, you know what I mean? I said, our religion, whatever happened in the past, it's a race. You understand? If we become Muslim and we repent to God, and I said, you know what I mean? I got to look at you like my brother now. And he still was denying it. You know, like I told you that before. I didn't have nothing to do with it. And then when I heard the cases against him, I was shocked. Not shocked because I already knew. You know what I mean? I was just trying to give him an opportunity to come clean and say, okay, I made mistakes. May Allah forgive me. May y'all forgive me. If Pac was around, I would have tried to get amends. You know what I mean? But he still was denying it, unfortunately. And then when I read the case, I was like, wow, you know?
Because the case file tied him into that.
Yeah, I seen it, yeah. Yeah, you know, I don't, you know, of course, I don't think nobody really, to be honest, just want to come out and say that, you know, I was involved with the shooting. You know what I mean? He probably's like, I ain't gonna say it to you. He probably didn't know my mindset. You understand? He probably didn't know what I would have probably done back. So I don't think that he probably would have, you know, I can't really, you know, think about him just coming up and say, yeah, I did it. He probably didn't know what to expect. You know.
So you run into Haitian Jack.
We ran into Haitian Jack years ago when I was still in the music industry. I was still in the game. We was all in Vegas, Big Psych, Outlaws, all of us. And Haitian Jack, I think he was with Mike Tyson, if I'm not mistaken. We seen him walking with Mike Tyson. And I think it was Edie, matter of fact, because Edie know him. I never seen Haitian Jack, never met him. Edie was like, that's Haitian Jack. And my brother, I had a few homies from New Jersey. My brother and them, like I said, they was wild street dudes, you know what I mean? So when I turned around, I really didn't see nobody anymore, just my brother and a few homies from Jersey. And I told my brother, I said, that's Haitian Jack. My brother said, I'm going up to him. You know, so my brother went up to him, was like, what's going on, this and this. You know, my family in Jersey, we always stayed with guns. They don't have nothing to do with rap. They were street cats, you know. So if anything would have went down, it would have went down. So my brother went up to Haitian Jack. You know, my brother's a little crazy. He like, this is my brother. He from the Outlaws. You got a problem with him? And Haitian Jack was like, oh, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? He was like, this is from the Outlaws. This is Napoleon. This one of Pop homies. What's going on? And we started conversating with Haitian Jack. You know, like what happened in New York City when Pop got shot. You know, word on the street that you had some involvement with it. And Haitian Jack was like, look, man, you know, the people that shot Pop was people that love me. He said, when Pop started talking, you know, down on me, I'm loved in the streets. He said the people took it on their own. He said, I never told them to go do it. It was just people that loved me decided to take it in their own hands. He said, but it never came from me. You know what I mean? And we pretty much walked away from that. You know what I mean?
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.